Okay, welcome back to my humble abode for another video. Today we've got a special one for you. So I've put in a bit of an order. Basically, what I'm getting a bit over is having to constantly swap from a wet to a dry lube. So these are the lubes that I use. So for the wet, I've got the World Tight Dry Lubricant. That's supposed to be a longer lasting and lower maintenance. For the most part, I've found this not to be the case. I've actually gone back to using the Muck Off Dry Lube, which I find lasts longer and is a bit more reliable. But for the wet, I'm using the TF2 Extreme Lubricant. And I find this to be quite good for the wet, but I'm a bit tired of chopping and changing, and I've been doing a lot of that lately due to the fact that it's sort of been raining for a bit and then it will be dry for a bit, and I'm also just a bit tired of the constant chain maintenance. And so what I've gone and purchased is the Absolute Black Graphene, I think it's called graphene, yeah, graphene wax. So apparently this is the world's most pliable wax, and we'll dig into that a little bit later. But what this video is going to be is me making an attempt to apply the wax. I've never done this before, but being a big W, and I've bought my crock pot, and I have rinsed my chains. This is the clean one. If you want to see the dirty water, go to my Instagram page. Why are you not following it? So this is my cleaned chain. You'll see it's clean because absolutely no residue. So that's been through 2 cycles of the degreaser, that being the World Tight Bike Cleaner, and then I have also, just for good measure, applied the World Tight Jet Blast degreaser. This stuff is insane. If you're ever looking for something to clean up your chain rings real quick, just do a spray of this and then put basically hose it off, and it cleans it up immediately. But anyway, what we're going to do is hot wax that chain using this. So let's have a look. Okay, so it wouldn't be my study or my workbench if it wasn't slightly messy, but anyway, here we go. So the Absolute Black, engineered in England, for whatever that matters. I don't know why they bother putting things on there like that. Apparently that means something. So what you get is these little bickies, and I gotta say, I contemplated eating it because they do look really tasty. So obviously it's black. I mean, kind of has to be with Absolute Black, but I've been assured that this dries on clear. So we're gonna obviously test that, but look, I don't see any reason why they would say that if that was not the case. So Absolute Black states that you must wait after cleaning 12 hours before doing this. Now, I don't have 12 hours to wait because I have ADHD, and I decided it was absolutely paramount that I do this tonight on a Wednesday night. So I have put I've got a jug of boiling water that I've seated the chain in, and I'm hoping that that dries maybe in the next hour. Obviously it has to be 100% dry, but we're going to test that theory. Anyway, at the moment it's a bit of a waiting game, so we'll be back when the chain's dry. What? Yeah, let's get rocking, because time's ticking and time is money. But yeah, looking pretty good. Happy days. So let's have the plunge. No going back from here. This chain's cactus. If I this up, a little bit nervous. No, I'm not. I have supreme confidence in my own ability. It's my biggest flaw. All right, let's do this. Okay, so I think I made this abundantly clear, but I have no experience with this whatsoever. So we are flying by the seat of our pants. I have read the Absolute Black webpage on what to do. Honestly, I got a bit bored. So I just decided I would see what we're doing ourselves. So I'm gonna whack it on high for the moment. And we're gonna pop that in there. So let's it's probably time lapse, I reckon. Let's do a time lapse. Yeah, so look, that's it's gonna take a bit longer than I maybe wanted it to take. So let's go through some rationale behind doing this. So basically, like I said, I'm commuting every day on this bike, and it's taking a big toll on my chain. Sort of having to clean the chain once a week. I pick up a lot of road muck, especially on the roads that I'm doing. They're sort of suburban back roads, so they've got a lot of crap on them. And I've gone to tubeless, and I'm finding that really good for the commuting. If you're considering doing it, I would highly recommend it. But I feel like the major flaw at the moment in my setup is the chain. As I say, it's starting to actually smoke. So hang on. I think we're still good, but things may catch on fire soon. So basically, the idea behind this is to streamline that chain, make it so that I don't have to clean it once a week, which is becoming annoying. I'm starting to get a squeaky chain at the end of each week. Granted, the chain is a couple 100 Ks old. I did consider doing a new chain, but as you saw, the package comes with 4 different wax melts. So I figured, try an old chain. If I hate it, at least I hate it on an old chain instead of a brand new KMC, which, you know, sets you back $100. So I've spoken to a few people about this, and there are mixed things. I was on a group ride with a bunch of blokes on Saturday 2 weeks ago, and one of the guys, well, 2 of the guys have wax chains, and they were saying, you know, singing the praises. But then I said, that's amazing, I'm actually considering doing that. And the main reason why I want to do that is because of the wet weather rides. And they sort of balked at that and said, I wouldn't if that's the case. And so let's just for the right scenery. They said, I wouldn't if that's the case, because, you know, the wax becomes a bit compromised with the water. So that's why I've gone with the Absolute Black, because apparently it is quite good with rain. Apparently it's quite long lasting, it's quite hardy. So we'll put a couple of Ks into it, and we'll have a look down the track at how it actually goes. But yeah, look, that's the rationale behind this decision. It's been something I've been thinking about for a while. Some people have said do it, some people have said don't, but I had the same thing with tubeless, and I have not, for a single day since I got tubeless set up, regretted it. I think it's the best move that I've made, and I'm hoping that this is the same. But I don't know, let's see. So that actually took ages, and I can completely understand why crock pots are called slow cookers, because that is so slow. But anyway, while I was doing that, I've got the chain prepped. So I've said, well, maybe I don't. I've seen a couple of different ways of people doing this. I've seen people putting strings through and attaching it to coat hangers. I'm using a cable tie because it's literally all I've got lying around, and I figure at the end I can just pick it up with a pair of pliers, but that way it keeps the chain sort of flat. Because as you might have seen, I had to put a second square into the pot because the issue is depth. With a crock pot, it just spreads out too much, and so getting actual submersion of the chain, which is super important, is just not feasible with the one square. But the good thing is, I have read that you can just keep it in the crock pot, and the next time you use it, reheat it and re-wax using the same wax as the old wax. So I guess that's what we'll be doing. But yeah, I may end up having to use a third cube. And I did watch a video online where they used like a foil tray or maybe a stainless steel tray that was a lot smaller, and they just put it on a hot plate and that heated up really quick. I think in that they're a bunch of mountain bikers, so of course they used a camp stove because mountain biker's gonna mountain bike. But anyway, that might be a hot tip in the future. And you know what, maybe use a camp stove, because your missus or mister may get a bit upset about you using the hot plate in the kitchen to melt wax to put your chain on. But anyway, let's give it a go, because I think we're pretty much ready. Okay, so we are good to go. I ended up having to add 3 cubes, and I've been using, I don't know if you can see, there's that pin in there. That's one of the quick links. So I've been using that as a bit of a reference point to try and determine how much more I needed to put in, because obviously that needs to be submerged for the chain to be submerged. So let's give it a go. Short. That's it on the hands. It's not super hot. Just gonna use a tire lever to sort of get it fully submerged. And there we go. So let me just pop this up here. So obviously I've got a little bit on the tire lever, and I got a little bit on my hand as well. And so I'm just going to show you. I don't know if you can see that too well, but it's a little bit coated. It just comes straight off, so that's pretty good. So it says on here to leave it for 15 minutes and then see how we go. So I'm just gonna leave it for 15 minutes and then we'll see how we go. But yeah, so let's, hey Siri, set a timer for 15 minutes.
Counting down.
Time to go play some Xbox. Okay, so we should be about to go, and as you saw, I put the cable tie around, looped it through the chain, and that was all well and good, but then you actually have to hang the chain. So I've done a bit of MacGyvering, and this is what I've come up with. So interested to know what you reckon, but I've got this little phone stand that I used to use way back when, and I've put this nail in the top. I'd like to say that that's like a really smart idea to add some weight, but honestly that was initially my idea until I remembered that I've got these picture hook hangers, And so I'm gonna hang the cable tie off the picture hook hanger, and that screw should prevent it, as you can see, from coming off. So a little bit of luck on the screw thing, but I think the picture hook hanger, a little bit of genius. So you know what? Lightning strikes every now and then. So we're gonna get the chain out. So I'm gonna GoPro ready to watch that, and then we're gonna see if this little hack or bodge GCN style works. Who knows? Anyway, let's see. Okay, so this is the soup, and I'm using these little pliers to pick up the cable tie. So this is what it looks like out of the wax. So I haven't actually seen anything on how long you're supposed to sort of leave it to drip, and I'm not super keen on just having all of this wax dripping onto the floor of my garage. Not that the floor of my garage inspires any sort of confidence, but I think I might just sort of hang it here for a sec. So let's put the speed up on. Look at that, it works. Oh, what a stroke of genius. Alright, time to try and find these quick links, and with the little lighting show, it actually makes it super easy. So we're going to chuck one of them just there, and slippery little sucker. That one. Oh, fuck me. There. And yeah, there we have it. Got a little bit of drippage, but I've got quite a bit of confidence that that'll be super easy just to clean up. So this, apparently, you can just leave now. So I'm just going to put that aside in the garage somewhere until the next time I need to wax it. And yeah, we're done. So I guess we come back in a little bit for final thoughts. Okay, so Absolute Black says to leave it for 40 minutes. It's been about 40 minutes, and actually super stoked with how this has worked out. But it is now time to remove it. And so what they say to do is obviously cut the cable tie off, but then you need to break in the links. So it doesn't really tell you how to do that per se, but I guess that's because it's pretty self-evident. It just sort of involves a little bit of scrunching. Whoops, sorry about that. Just to sort of make sure that they all kind of work. And then you just pop it on your bike. So I'm not gonna bore you with the putting it on my bike stuff. It's pretty self-explanatory. We've all put chains on bikes before, but I will give you a bit of a rundown because I will be taking this out tomorrow. So I'll let you know sounds and first impressions. But yeah, aside from that, actually kind of easy. Famous last words. It's probably gonna fart itself on me tomorrow. But yeah, anyway, wax chain. Really exciting. Go Burgess. Go Burgess. Okay, so thoughts on the chain wax. I've done about 100 Ks, 120 Ks on it, and I'm not disappointed with it. So I would say that it's sort of what I wanted it to be without exceeding expectations. So if you're starting on the chain wax journey and you're expecting it to solve a lot of your problems, it's not a kill-all. There is still a little bit of grease on my chain. That may be from the fact that I didn't use a new chain, and I will be buying a new KMC chain to re-wax and use as a rotation, and I'll see if that changes some of this, but there does seem to be some grit and grime attaching even though I'm using wax. However, 120 Ks completely noiseless, would be a better word. No sound, no real creaking or squeaking or any of that, which 100% would have after 120 Ks using either a wet or a dry lube, and that's a big win. So it is looking like it'll cut down on the servicing, but yeah, like I said, it's not the silver bullet that I guess I hoped that I would find that it was. You get a lot of sort of disciples of it. Every time I go on a bike ride, someone's got a wax chain and they are waxing lyrical about it. Yeah, look, it's not that. It's good, and it is useful. You could argue that the amount of time that it takes you to wax your chain might be countered by the lack of servicing that you have to do every week. I was having to wash my bike every week. I may not have to do that now. So look, I'm happy with it, and now that I've done it, I'll stick with it until something happens that makes me think, okay, this is not for me anymore. But yeah, if you're expecting it to just solve all of the problems that you have with your chain using lube, it's at the moment, I would say, not going to do that. Plus, there is something romantic about your chain ring tattoo. I used to sport one of those all the time in my 20s. I don't know if it's just me, but when I first started riding, no one told me to clean my chain, and my chain was black. I would wash my bike, but I never cleaned my components. So yeah, I had a permanent chain ring tattoo, to the point that I'm actually considering going out and getting one now because I miss my chain ring tattoo. Even though, don't shout at me, I do service my bike very regularly now, and I do clean my chains. But anyway, they're my thoughts on it. Don't not do it, but don't do it because you think it's just going to end all your issues. Anyway, hoping you're enjoying the new quality. I bought the GoPro Media Pack, so hopefully you're experiencing a little bit better sound and also way better visuals. I'm super happy with it. But the next review that I do is going to be on these puppies. I've been sporting the shocks. I paid for these like I did the Absolute Black. Don't think that didn't come out of my own pocket. I 100% paid for that myself. Paid for these myself too, but these I am super impressed with. There are a few downsides to them which I'll go through, but yeah, look, overall absolutely blown away with these ones. So yeah, look forward to that. That'll be coming next Monday. Cheers guys, and have the best week.